Are my mics in the right spot, Dave? Good. Okay.
All right. Episode 25. We're here. Feeney Talks with Friends. My name is Eric Feeney. I'm the founder and president of Friends of Feeney. It is a nonprofit. We help children and families that have heartbreak or tragedy. And we use this podcast, thanks to my buddy Dave at Direct Line Media, to talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. And this guest today does wonderful things for our community. First review, Josh, was episode 24, Construction, Sorrell Brothers. Check it out. Basketball star, great guy. Josh, enough about that. Episode 25, you may know this person, Mr. House. How you doing, Dennis?
Oh, Eric, it is so great to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
This is an honor. Thank you so much. If you guys don't know, this is my friend Dennis. He's a father of two. He's a flag football coach.
I am.
Anything else am I missing?
Let's see. I take out the trash. I do the grocery shopping. I do a little news on the side.
A little news. Yeah, it's fitting. Episode 25. How long you been in the news business?
So I've been in the news business, 33 years.
33, okay.
It's crazy. I started off as an intern in Providence, Rhode Island, and then I worked in Manchester, New Hampshire behind the scenes, and then I stayed late every night because I wanted to be a reporter. I made tapes, went out with reporters, I learned from them and anchors, and then I sent out my tapes around the country. I got a job in Rockford, Illinois as a news anchor. Then I moved to the Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan market, worked there for a couple years, and then came to Channel 3 and worked there for quite some time, and now I'm at Channel 8.
Channel 8.
Yeah,
nice.
Great
Rockford
to be here.
Peaches.
The Rockford Peaches, yes.
And Kalamazoo is Derek Jeter, right?
In fact, here's the story. I interviewed Derek Jeter as a high school student.
Come on.
I swear. I was a sports guy for a little bit in Kalamazoo, and I had to interview this guy, and, it was kind of a big deal. But who knew? He's a high school kid. I didn't save the interview or anything like that. It's almost like the Frank Mazzicato situation in East Catholic right now.
Yep.
Now we know more than we do. And I don't remember how Derek Jeter was drafted, but I do remember it was a significant development in Kalamazoo.
Yeah. He's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah.
That's a big honor. Big Yankee fan. Are you a Yankee fan?
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Oh, boo.
I know.
Sorry, this interview's over.
Well, I grew up in Boston, and I can't say like I'm watching every game and getting upset if they lose, but I'm sort of one of those fans that kind of keeps track of the situation. And
that's great.
But I also like the Chicago Cubs. I lived in the Midwest for a while. There's some teams I like that I wouldn't be disappointed if they won the World Series, because I think, my wife's from Detroit. I lived in Michigan, so anything Detroit,
How beautiful is Wrigley?
Wrigley's amazing,
isn't it?
Wrigley's amazing, and I've been going there since the late 80s.
Oh, nice.
With my friends. We usually make an annual pilgrimage. It gets a little more difficult as we get older because we have kids and lives and jobs and things to coordinate. We live in all different cities now. But I will say that when you go there, it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, I went with my wife and her family, and then I went for a National Education Association Teachers Rep Assembly.
Okay.
The Teachers Conference, and they had 2-day games back-to-back. I may or may not have dipped out of the meetings a little earlier to go to two-day games in a row.
Nothing wrong with that.
And
it's a great neighborhood, too.
Oh, man.
And just bars and restaurants surrounding it. But I do recommend a day game.
Yeah, day games.
Yeah.
Definitely. My mother-in-law will never live this down. It was like a 1-0 game, boring as can be. And she's like, come on, John. That's my father-in-law. Let's leave. We're like, no, let's stick it out. We finally fine, let's leave. We get off the subway, and some guy sees us, and he goes, you left the game? Third baseman, I think it was Aramis Ramirez, hit a walk-off home run in the 9th. People were throwing beers in the air.
Yeah.
Everyone rushed to happy hour, and here we left early. So, Jeannie, I'm still a little hard about that. But, so news anchor. You're giving advice to someone that wants to do your job, or a mentor. You're mentoring someone. What are 3 characteristics that make you a great newscaster or news anchor?
So if I were to tell a young person what to do, number one, be open and curious, because you need to go into a story and ask the right questions. And if something's unanswered, you need to ask that question. And so many times over my career, I've witnessed a reporter who has come home and back with the story and, well, what about this? So there are some things you need to maybe you don't get the answer, but you at least have to ask it, right?
Gotcha.
And you don't want to put a story on the air that raises questions. You want to be able to answer the questions. That's number one. Also, be yourself. Don't be a cookie cutter of someone else. It's okay to have role models. It's okay to say, hey, listen, I want to be like him, or I want to dress like her, or whatever. But be yourself deep inside. And I think authenticity and being genuine will help with your success. And also be thorough. Do not make, you're going to make mistakes, but try not to. And make sure that you double check your work, double check your spelling. Misspellings are my real pet peeve, and I know you're a teacher, so I know that you'll relate to this. But to me, if I misspell someone's name, that would be the worst. So I always tell them, and I usually tell them on camera, please spell your name first and last, and even if it's simple, you just never know. All right. I've met people who have 2 R's in Gary, or spell Turner T-I. Yeah, you just never know.
Yep. No, as a teacher, I've seen many different spellings. So being thorough, I like that. Passionate, asking questions.
Yeah.
And asking the right questions.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, you do a wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
We're so thankful that you're here.
It's an honor to be here. You do some great work with the community. I know I've seen you at some events. My son has a Friends of Feeney sweatshirt, and so we're very. You're just an unsung hero.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Someone texted me. He was like, Dennis House is live right now, and his son's running around in your hoodie. I guess you were taping something or doing something on Facebook, so it was cool.
Oh, excellent.
That was a great event. He got the sweatshirt at the Donut Crazy fundraiser.
I believe so.
I want to thank you. You were a celebrity server, so that meant a lot. You had the busiest half an hour there with Scott McGillipin.
Yeah, Scott's great.
He's a podcast guest, episode 22. Scott's a wonderful guy.
He is.
So thank you so much. We got some pictures, Dave, from the event, Donut Crazy. Let's pull them up real quick.
Excellent. Yeah, Donut Crazy was, it's a crazy place, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not a big donut eater, but when you go there, you kind of have to have one.
Of course. Yeah. And then Irene is just, I met her at the Chamber of Commerce, same place I met Dave. Yeah. Again, businesses that care about the community. Irene, there was a house fire for a student in KP.
Yeah, I remember that.
I reached out and needed a fundraiser. She had a great little area on the front, and all the proceeds that were sold, I thought just the donut proceeds would go to our foundation. Mm-hmm. Everything went, and she was very generous and thoughtful. So there you are serving.
Oh, that's right.
You got a favorite donut?
That was great. Well, anything chocolate. To me, I just, if it doesn't have chocolate, I'm probably not interested.
Yep. Then there's another picture. I think your son's wearing the hoodie in the next picture.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There he is.
And
that was 2 years ago, right? Was it 2019?
Yeah, it was like a week before COVID.
That's right.
That was March 9th.
So it was 2020. Okay.
2020.
That's great. That's interesting. So that West Hartford lacrosse shirt I'm wearing is actually his. They gave them out at the end of the season as sort of a, whatever. And but it was like a boy's extra large. That's all they had left. Didn't fit him, but it kind of fits me a little bit.
What do you think of the beard?
I like the beard. I think the thing about beards are most women don't like them. Like my wife hated one because I grew one from Movember a couple years ago. And it was, it grew in, and I decided not to shave it or trim it at all. So it was growing up my neck, and I just did the full. I didn't shave anything. That
was my next question. As like being on TV anchor, have you ever grown a beard? But yeah. And you just let it grow, wild man, caveman.
Did it from Movember.
Wilderness guy.
And I had a paternity goatee when one of my kids was born. I was off for a couple weeks, and I grew it for a little bit. But
are you an everyday shaver?
I am an everyday shaver. Sometimes twice a day.
Twice a day.
You don't depending
want that 5 o'clock shadow.
Well, if I were to shave at 8 in the morning, and then I had to do the 11 o'clock news that night, it might look just shabby. So I might give another run through.
Nice. I shave for this podcast, so how do I look? And so I play another game first, next, then last. And I already asked Derek Slapp these questions because he was once a journalist.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
His first story, last story. So I'm going to switch it up.
Okay.
And I know you do a lot of fundraising and emceeing. You do the 40 under 40. Mm-hmm. You do the mayor's ball. Mm-hmm. The list goes on and on.
Sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Nicole Feeney. She won 40 under 40 when you were hosting.
That's
and
right.
I saw you as an MC. Nicole, my wife, is the director at Oak Hill School. It was the New England Assistive Technology, so she won 40 and 40. I'm very proud of her. I want to shout her out.
That was
Congratulations.
Amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations, indeed.
So for your fundraising efforts, and again, you're here for your community efforts, and you are like Mr. West Hartford, Hartford Magazine, 12th or top 12 most influential people. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yep. Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What your fundraising and your giving back was your first one, your last one, your best one, and your worst one? You could be events, fundraisers.
Well,
things that you have emceed.
I will say I've done a lot of them, and I do some of them on a regular basis. I like to help out the Pettit Foundation. I've done some work with them over the years. Doc Pettit has, as you know, he lost his family in that horrible fire in Cheshire many years ago. But he's asked Kara and me to do his golf tournament, so I do that. I've done everything from Connecticut Children's Medical Center to Hartford Healthcare to small organizations, schools, colleges. My most recent thing that I've been involved in is the Denise DeCenzo Foundation, which is a foundation named after my late co-anchor and one of my best friends, Denise DeCenzo. So we're starting that. We're looking at events to do. And we're going to have a gala and a walk and a few other things. So we have a committee. It was created by her husband and daughter. And so that's really the foundation I've been working on lately. But I'm doing something for South Windsor Rotary coming up in a couple of weeks. So it's just all, it really depends. I mean, I always tell people that if you ask, I'll try to do it.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
You got the yes model. I like it.
Yeah, you can't always do them, but if it works with my schedule. I was asked to do something coming up in a couple of months, and I said, listen, I can't commit right now because that particular day I know it's going to be it's a news day, September 11th, and so I said I don't know what I'm doing for work yet, so I can't commit to that day yet.
Yeah.
So that's why I usually tell people.
And you pay a lot of tribute to Denise. I know she was a good friend of you, so I'm very sorry. I know you're thinking about her a lot, and it's very good that you carry on her legacy with this wonderful foundation. So
thank you.
And yeah, but the way you give back is very. I look to that. I try to give back and be there for the community and not say no or say yes. So you're a role model. I appreciate that.
I do think it's important to give back. I think that if you've been blessed in life, which I have been, you need to give a little bit back. And my wife and I actually enjoy doing events together, and sometimes it gets us out of the house a little bit, and so we enjoy, a lot of people don't like doing them because it means leaving a spouse at home. But for us, we do them together. And we've been told we're one of the more sought after MCs in the area for that reason. And we've raised millions combined.
Yeah, and I know it's like a dinner date out, but yet you're hosting.
It is. And you're doing some, Spanish American Merchants, one that just came to mind. Red Cross. I did a Red Cross event during COVID. It's just like I enjoy these things. They're fun.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. And then, so you said, mentioning it's okay to copy someone or look to someone. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 17 years. Do you have a teacher that inspired you to go into your profession, or someone that really, was important to your life growing up?
I had a lot of great teachers. In fact, I'm going to be doing a story with my first grade teacher coming up, Rosemary Egan. And she was, I have not seen her in ages, but my friend Kevin Sullivan and I were just talking about her recently. We remember her, and we had crushes on her, if that's possible. We were in the first grade, but she was amazing. And looking back at it, she was probably 24 years old, and we were, 7, 6, whatever we were. And so she was great. I remember my kindergarten teacher, and Miss Paris, and she just died recently in the age of 90-something. But I called her a couple of years ago for something, and she got on the phone, and she sang to me this song that she sang over, that she used to sing to the kindergarten kids. I had a couple of high school teachers who were very instrumental. I really haven't kept in touch with them, but there were 3 of them who, one ran the school newspaper that I was involved in, so he was great, Mr. Burke. And then there's also Mr. Newhall, who was pretty amazing. He taught politics, and really just, I found that class was probably the most interesting class I took in all of high school. And it was during, the 80s, so some of the elections that took place were kind of fun. And Miss Schofield, who was a writer she was a great writer. And it's interesting because as you go through in television, we write a lot of scripts, and I'm always looking for grammar. And sometimes you correct it on the fly.
Yep.
And I can't help but, like, if I go to a restaurant, I see something misspelled in a menu, it just jumps out at me.
Yep.
If there's or like bagels, it'll say bagels rather, it'll say bagel apostrophe s, or it's just stuff like that just bugs me. And misplaced modifiers and subjects that don't match up, and so all these things. And so she taught me a lot of that. And sometimes I still have to look stuff up.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because somebody I've mentored a lot of people in recent years who are now doing various things in this business, and one of them said, I always have a he sent me a tape and he said, John and me are going to the store or something like that. And I said, it's John and I. He said, well, how do you know all these things? I said, take out the other person. Make it a solo sentence. You would never say, me going to the store.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, So just take out that. Don't make it. If it's complicated to you with two people, So.
Yep.
Things like that. So.
My 12-year-old daughters, they're going into 8th grade, they're like, I call them the grammar police. They'll find errors in menus, like you just said.
But it's good because, eventually you're going to have to, it's sure is irritating, absolutely, but they're learning. And
we just saw the bun is not made with any artificial food dye, DIE.
Yeah.
She was like it really bothered. I'm like, all right, I see, it's okay.
And this is a tough one. Like, a number of people are going to the store, which is incorrect. Number is the subject, so it's a number of people that's going to the store.
Yep.
It sounds awkward, so don't say it that way. I always tell people, just say, several people are going to the store. I mean, Who speaks like that? A number of people are going to the It's just, make it easier.
Yeah. Man, we should not go back in these 25 podcasts because I make a lot of grammatical. It's only human, but
it is.
We're all human.
Yeah, and you speak fast, and sure, it happens to me too as well.
Well, how about the shirt? What do you think of this?
I love the Whaler shirt.
Yeah?
I love the Whaler shirt. I'll tell you an interesting story, Eric. Just recently, I got an email from a woman, a viewer. She was from the town of, where was it? It was out east, and it wasn't like Columbia or Coventry. And she said to me, my husband and I are selling our house. We're downsizing, and we have all this Whaler stuff. Would you like it? And so she sent me just a bag of stuff, including like an autographed Gordie Howe picture and all this stuff. And a couple of years ago, there was a woman on Facebook, and her son had died, and he was a big Whalers fan, and she wanted me to have his jacket. So it was one of those satin jackets. And
nice, classic, like
she said,
starter coat.
Yeah, she said I can't bear to give it away to someone who won't appreciate it. So I do have it, and I've worn it to cold, on a cold night to the Yardgoats or something like that.
I know. Yeah, that's your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Well, the tags are still on it, and this, my friend, I want to give this to you. This is for.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Come on, this is. I know you're a big Whalers guy.
No, but you just bought that. You should keep that.
All right. Well,
I want you to have it because I have one.
Why don't you pretend like just take it on?
All right, I will
give
take
it back to me after it closes.
Yes. This is very kind of you.
Isn't that nice of me?
This is very kind of you. And I'll give a shout out to Ehor, who owns Parade of Novelties in the West Farms Mall.
Okay.
And he's retired now, so he only works one day a week. But he sells great Whalers stuff. I just bought a Whalers hat from him the other day.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I have.
But this is great because my hats seem to disappear. Kids take them.
Friends of Feeney, a couple of things I would like to think
This
of the
is
Whalers
so nice.
colors.
Thank you, though.
Whalers colors. The Friends of Feeney. We have a Be a Good Friend long sleeve. It's the green shirt with the blue print.
I have a Friends of Feeney t-shirt at home. I will tell you that I think that green's a great color for a number of reasons, but it's also the color of the Hartford area, green and blue.
Ah, right.
And like I ran into
before the Whalers or because of the Whalers?
Because of the Whalers. Well, the Whalers started it.
Yeah.
But if you go back to the green and all that, I ran into someone from Pittsburgh the other day. I had never really thought about it, but he had a Pittsburgh Steelers hat, a Pittsburgh Penguins shirt, and a Pittsburgh Pirates something or other.
Yep.
And they're all black and gold. So you have the marketing for the whole city. And I never really thought about that. But there is something to be said about that.
Yeah, I used to drop that sports trivia. What team all wear the same colors and they don't have basketball too? So that was weird at Pittsburgh.
That's Pittsburgh. Yeah.
They all have the black and yellow.
Yeah. So I think stuff like that, and the Wolfpack, I know, they're wonderful contributors to our city, but they should go green and blue.
Definitely.
That's my thought.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing up well, maybe I brought up the Yardgoats, but by giving you that, I want to announce August 1st, Friends of Feeney night at the Yardgoats. It's a Sunday night. gates open at 6. The game starts at 6:05. The gates open up at 4:30. Tickets will be $15.
Okay.
And for every ticket sold, Friends of Feeney will get a portion.
Oh, that's great.
Hopefully, if you're free, please try to join us. It's also Irish night.
It's also my wedding anniversary.
Oh.
August 1st. Not to rule it out. Maybe Carol will be like...
Carol would love to go with a bunch of screaming kids.
Can we go to a Yardgoats game with a bunch of screaming kids who aren't our own?
That's romantic.
On our wedding anniversary.
How many years?
18. It'll be 18 this year.
Nice. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How'd you guys meet?
We met at work. That would
have been my guess.
We just kind of had a lot in common right off the bat. And we just started hanging out as friends, and we realized we really just had a lot in common. We liked hanging out. We liked doing things together, and we'd go to the gym together. We'd grab some lunch together, do whatever together, and then we started dating.
Very cool.
So,
well, she's cool.
She's cool. Yeah, we've been together over 20 years, so almost 21 years. So.
And is she doing any podcasting or?
She does some podcasts. Yeah,
Nice.
She does a thing called Kara's Cures.
Nice.
And which she's really into the health and spirituality and all that. So she's really she's into all that. We have some different interests
like
about
dieting
stuff like
or
that.
yoga and stuff like that.
All
mindfulness.
all things mindfulness. A lot of it. She's really into during COVID. She really got us into this battery of vitamins and things like that. So she does a lot of research on that. And we have different interests about certain things. Like she wouldn't want to do a podcast about like if she ran into someone from ESPN, she wouldn't know who they are.
Yeah.
She's like, who is that?
We had Seth Wickersham. He's writing a book on Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He was a guest, so ESPN guy.
Yeah.
And I know you work out. You're a big workout guy because I see.
I do. I
JCC.
So I'm a proud member of the board of directors at the Mandel JCC, and it's a great place. I met the great people there when my kids went to preschool there, and so I started working out there, and I really like it. And I have a weird workout routine that kind of works for me. I put on some COVID weight, and the gym was closed, and I was working weird hours and all that. So and it was just it's been a traumatic year on a number of levels. So I work out there a lot.
How's Ty at the JCC?
Ty is great,
isn't he?
Ty Tran is amazing. Of course, he runs the basketball program for kids, and he's a great guy.
Yep, he was episode 22.
Okay,
he's great. Dave Bender.
Dave Bendor, yeah.
Yep.
Dave Bendor is looks like a quarterback, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's 6'8".
6'8", and but he's a great guy. He's a psychiatrist.
Yep, child psychologist.
He's
a future guest.
Yeah, and he's amazing. I'm a big fan of Dave Bender. He's a good friend of mine, and he gave me a lot of advice. Within a span of a year, I lost Denise. I had COVID, lost my job, lost my dad. So Dave was very helpful to me.
Yeah.
So
having multiple children from different backgrounds and different needs, I reach out to him every once in a while for advice and suggestions on how to approach a situation and strategy. So he's a wonderful human.
He's a good friend,
good basketball player.
And I imagine he is. I've never played him in basketball, but I imagine that he is. So
yeah, how's your game?
I'm not a great basketball player. It's not my sport. I played a little football growing up and ran some track, but basketball I played when I was real little, and then I don't know. I had a fight with a kid. I got kicked off the team. I never went back to it. But it's a big regret of mine that I didn't continue with basketball because I did like it. So I used to play a lot of golf, and then I found that to be very time consuming when you have kids. There's just no time
it's
for
tough.
golf.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, and one day I golfed with my brother-in-law for the whole day. I came back around 3, and Kara's like, "Where have you been?" And I said, "Well, you told me to play with your brother." She goes, "But you left at 8:30. I'm like, "That's golf. Yeah. That's the way it is." Because the kids were like 1 and 3 then. It was so the house was bedlam on a Saturday.
So it felt like 12 hours for her.
Yeah, so she was like, "Wait a minute now. You going to play every Saturday?" I said, "Well, you're the one who told me to play with your brother-in-law. With your brother." So now I've kind of I took up squash a while back. I really like that. Racquetball is another thing I play. And
pickleball?
I haven't played pickleball yet.
It's big in West Hartford. They changed a couple tennis courts. They sacrificed tennis courts to make more pickleball courts.
Yeah, I mean, I played a little bit of tennis, not much, but racquetball is great because you can play no matter what the weather is because it's indoors, right? If it's 90 degrees, it's 70 in the thing. middle of a snowstorm you can play, and it's great exercise for 45 inch.
And JCC they have nice racquetball.
JCC has nice racquetball courts, yeah. So sometimes I have to import players because there aren't a lot around sometimes. So if you ever want to play, let me know.
Yeah, I'll play. And then Ty runs a wonderful basketball league.
It's amazing. My
over
kid,
30.
Yeah,
and he runs a kids program too.
Yeah, my son did that league for many years till he aged out of it. So
nice. And then you recently got a video of skunks playing in the yard. Jamie Carlson.
Yeah, Jamie Carlson. I saw it on Facebook, and he sent it to us, so we put it on. We put it on TV. Within like a few hours, it got 30,000 views. And I think because number one, people love animal videos, but bears are almost kind of routine. I mean, everyone's got a bear video, right? They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But skunk videos with babies are kind of rare.
True.
So I think that's why that's what resonated with me.
Yeah, he's a point guard from the JCC over 30 basketball league. Great guy.
Yeah.
Watches the podcast. So Jamie, shout out.
Jamie, thank you for that video. It's excellent. But no, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about your podcast, Conversations with Dennis House?
Yes. So I was approached by Seasons Magazines, which comes to West Hartford Homes, to do a podcast for them monthly. And I'm kind of new to the podcast game. Been guest on a few podcasts in my life, but never really hosted one. But I interview people. So I think they probably figured this guy can probably handle that.
Yeah.
And so we've interviewed Governor Lamont, and we had, who else? We have our upcoming one is with Christine Lee from 96.5.
Yardgoats.
Yardgoats and Athletic and some doctors. So we've been having fun with it.
Now is that, so shout out to the Yardgoats, August 1st.
August 1st.
Friends of
Dennis
Feeney.
and Kara's anniversary.
Yes. I'm going to put that on the flyer. Happy anniversary. So how's this? You feeling good in the podcast?
Yeah, this is I mean, obviously you're a pro at this, and you've done this a million times. And you do a great job, great questions. I think it's always interesting when I teach kids like how to do interviews, and I remember, one of the key things is that, and this is 45 minutes or so. Let's say you've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You don't want to waste your time asking questions that you already know the answer to. Like, for instance, whatever's in someone's bio, read it. If it's interesting, you can ask about it.
Yep.
But I think if you sat down with me and the first 10 questions were like, so where'd you go to college? Where'd you grow up? Where'd you do this? If it's all in the bio, then you've wasted the time.
Yep. You're
burning through the time. And I always tell kids that, you don't know how long an interview is going to last, particularly with a politician. Get to the point. Because if he's walking and talking, you don't have time to think about 10 questions. If it's an hour, sure, maybe you can hold the good questions till the very end or something like that. So
nice.
That was one of the lessons I told kids. I said, do some research and ask some questions that maybe haven't been asked.
Yeah, we shoot for 40 minutes with Feeney. That's our goal, or sometimes 50 minutes with Feeney.
Well, whatever you need.
And
whatever you
nice
need.
flow.
Whatever you need.
Is this when you're teaching at St. Joseph's?
So St. Joseph, yeah. Well, I mean, they're college kids, so they have different types of questions. And but I did a seminar for St. Joseph a couple months ago on how to do Zooms and how to appear on camera, because so many people were all of a sudden thrust into the world of having to be in front of a camera rather than just talking to someone across from a table. And it was difficult for a lot of people. And we all have good angles and bad angles. Don't shoot up people's nostrils. The camera should always be maybe eye level or maybe even a little higher. It should seldom be lower. And if you're shooting up, you're just not going to get a flattering. Nobody looks good, shooting up a selfie like that.
Yeah.
But you might look good like this. You look. Selfies, I'm not a big fan of because I think that they distort your features.
Okay.
Unless you've got like Dave Bendor arms on a Dennis House body, it's not going to work because I can only put the camera out here. And so it's never the right way in the whole bit. So I went to the camera bar in downtown Hartford. Aaron Goldenthal, who's also, I think, in that over 30
JCC Hooper.
Yes.
Great shooter,
so
Aaron.
He and his dad own this family business in downtown Hartford called the Camera Bar. And I just got a tripod from them that is the best tripod I've ever had, because I do a lot of Facebook Lives for work and stuff like that. And so I don't want to be holding out there for the whole time. It's a lot easier to put it on the tripod, go behind. Does it look good? Sure. Take that extra moment. And that's what I told people. Take that extra minute to make sure that, you look good. You know, you don't want to be like like if half your face is shadowy, that's going to ruin your presentation to whoever you're talking to on your Zoom.
Yeah, background is important too. Not
Yeah.
in front of a window or.
Don't be in front of a window. Don't be in front of something that's like, it's interesting. So I was giving advice to a friend of mine who had a big presentation, and he had a T-shirt on that had some writing on. I forget what the message was, but it had something to do with what he was going to be talking about. And I said, listen, I know you love that T-shirt, but unless you can reverse your camera, the writing is backwards. Yeah, so and it's distracting the whole time. And so I wouldn't wear it. So he didn't wear it because whatever format he was using, it could not reverse the camera. And so I said, no, it's not going to work.
Good
so
advice.
Little things like that can be, if you've got a picture of, I don't know, some girl in a bikini or something like that over your shoulder on a shelf, and you're talking about something kind of serious, people's eyes might be drawn to that other that other thing in the picture. So you kind of need to look at everything, look at the background, and look wherever. So,
yeah, I did not like teaching second graders on Zoom, and the second graders did not like learning on Zoom. It was a challenge. It is definitely
a challenge.
We got through it. We made the best of it. You know, we ended every lesson with a show and tell, or let me talk to your dog, or let me see a toy, or sometimes let me see your nostrils. You know, their nostrils are going on the screen. And again, that personal connection, that social piece is missing in the Zoom.
Yeah, as a parent, I was not a big fan of remote learning, but it is what it is. So.
It's tough to even taking turns speaking or
sure.
It was tough. It was a challenge, but we made it through. We're all better for it.
Yeah,
here we are. We start next year. It's a brand new year.
Yep, in person, which is great.
In person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about a couple ballers. We talked about your podcast. We talked about how you donated your time and volunteered at Donut Crazy. Let's talk about the style and the fashion of Dennis House. You're a pretty well-dressed dude.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, are you wearing socks right now?
I'm not wearing socks right now. I generally do not wear socks between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Okay.
I prefer to have just bare feet in there. To me, it's more comfortable in the summertime. And so I'm wearing white Bucks.
White.
And I'll tell you this. So when I was in high school, the Preppy Handbook had been out for a little bit by Lisa Birnbach. And it was kind of a very influential book in the 1980s because it influenced style a lot. And white Bucks were in there. And so a lot of kids in my high school had them, and so I had a pair. And I had that pair for probably, I had it for at least 20 years, that pair. And I used to wear them in the air during the summer the whole bit. And you're not supposed to wear them like before Labor Day or after Labor Day or whatever. Before Memorial Day, but after Labor Day. And so they finally just fell apart. I got a new pair. I had those for about 22 years. And I just got this pair this year. So to replace them. So I don't know. They're kind of classic, and I like them. And so that's that. But
do you have a spot for suits and outfits?
So
I shop around.
I'm a big bargain shopper. You know, I have very middle class roots. I was taught to look for the bargains, and so I'm a lot of my stuff. I will get a lot of stuff at Marshall's. I have a weird body. I have like an 18-inch neck, but not an 18-inch. But my body doesn't fit the rest of that shirt, which would be like a 40 waist or whatever. So I have to get all my shirts tailored. So if I can find like an 18-inch neck somewhere, I'll buy that shirt wherever I may be.
Get it tailored.
Sometimes I get it online. I'll get it tailored. Big shout out to JT Gamos. I do buy some suits there. They're great. Joe Gamo, who's very involved in West Hartford basketball, and his family. So I like the service that they give there. The tailoring is amazing. It's a family business. So kind of buy my suits from there, but I have bought some suits off the rack from Macy's or Men's Express is also, believe it or not, has suits that are kind of built for a guy like me. I can walk in and buy it off the rack without any alterations, period, and it fits. Nice. So I got a couple of those too, and I like preppy stuff. I guess I have shorts that are probably 25 years old. I have
4th of July outfit was pretty sharp.
Yeah, so that I bought. Yeah, those pants so if I see plaid pants periodically, and if they fit, I'll try them on, and they're kind of hard to find.
How many pairs of plaid pants do you own?
I probably have about 15 pairs of brightly colored or plaid or print golf pants that I keep in a box, and
So you take them out, iron them yourself?
Take them out, yeah. So I used to go to the dry
You do the
cleaners for
press.
my shirts, and then I started pressing them myself because I had some rash that I think was from the dry cleaning thing on my neck. But anyway, but I think I might go back because it's just becoming I hate ironing.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst task, and it's worth whatever you pay.
It's like Sunday night, I'm ironing like my 12 pants
Yeah.
for the week. I can't do shirts. That's just too time consuming.
Exactly. But there was a thing where I started to get this rash on my neck, and I asked my doctor about it, and he said, I think it could be from dry cleaning. Maybe you just develop an allergy to it
Yeah,
all of a
like the
sudden.
starch or something.
So I stopped going.
So who has more clothing, you or Kara?
Oh, Kara, easily.
You both are very well dressed.
I have a lot of stuff that like is old. Like I have like some polo shirts and stuff like that have lasted forever, and T-shirts that I have forever. And if it fits, why not?
So you have her walk-in closets? What's the
We have one
situation over
closet,
there?
and I get one end of it, and she gets the other end of it. But she's got more clothes than I do, and but again, it's just like nobody really cares what guys wear. I mean, it's kind of a sexist life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For women have it hard, and it's because people remember what they wore. People don't always remember what I wore. Sometimes they do, but like I could wear the same blue suit every single day and change the shirt and the tie.
Yeah.
And you would never notice this.
Yep, that's what matters. Like your tie's making it pop. So
Yeah.
you switch that tie
Yeah,
around.
most of my suits are blue.
Yep.
And I just...
What's the color of the tie?
This is probably... what would you call that? Hot pink or fuchsia, maybe? I don't know. Magenta? Something like that.
I like
it's pink.
Not salmon?
Right?
Salmon?
Salmon, I think, is more of like an orangey... Salmon is more orangey. If you see a salmon this color, I wouldn't eat it. It means it's probably fake.
True.
Yeah, salmon's like, it has some orange in it.
You're a good-looking guy.
Well, thank you, man.
Well-dressed guy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
more serious question. We're popping around a few times. So there are questions and stories that you cover that could be stressful and heartbreaking. Do you internalize that, and do you take some of that home, or how do you deal with those questions or those reports?
I do. So Sunday on This Week in Connecticut, I have a story that I am doing exclusive interview with these parents they were going to be parents of twins. She was artificially inseminated at UConn Health, and there were some mistakes made throughout the entire case, and she 2 days before she was born, before the baby was supposed to be born, she was told one was dead. The other one came out with severe disabilities. He's 6 now. They just sued UConn and got a judgment for $37.5 million. And it was one of those things that it was just a heartbreaking story. It was like these people, they had dreams of having children. They had difficulty getting pregnant, so they went to get help with that. And few people made mistakes along the way, and according to the lawsuit, and so this is their life right now.
Yeah.
So things like that get to you. I've learned some things from tragedies over the years, and one was back in the day before the internet and all that. I did a story on a kid who was murdered. I was a kid; he was probably 23, and I went to the town library and I went to get his yearbook, and I took a picture of the picture, and that's what we used for the picture of him in this story. And the next day, the mother called me and said, I wish you had come to my door. I have a much better picture I'd like to use. But I was young. I didn't want to bother her. You don't want to go to someone's house in their moment of grief. I've since learned that you need to do it respectfully, because some people want to talk. Some people want to get the story of their deceased loved one out there. Mm-hmm. They want to get the best picture of this person on television. And so that's a lesson I learned about journalism, that there is a nice way to ask, and there is a nice way to go about telling the story in the most respectful way. Now, there are other people who don't ever want to talk to you, and they get very angry when you go to their door. And so you kind of have to, it's a situational case-by-case thing.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get.
You never know.
Everyone deals with grief in a different way.
Absolutely. And, some people have just surprised me the way they come out and they talk very comfortably about their loved one. Other people are just want nothing to do with you.
Man, that twin one, I have twins, so that one hits home.
It was just a heartbreaking story. It was really just that to me just really bothered me. Still bothers me.
And I this whole organization was started because of Nancy Sohn. She lost her husband. She's now the secretary of Friends of Feeney, and we're like best friends. And just, it's tough sometimes. Every year she still mourns the loss of her husband, and she has 4 children, and I just empathize with her, and I'm trying to be there for that family and all the families that Friends of Feeney, the organization, is helping. So
I think that pain never goes away. I interviewed earlier this year in March Sergeant Chris Tyler of the West Hartford Police Department, and he shared with me his story and his wife and their 2 kids of his brain tumor. He had numerous surgeries, and this was just a heartbreaking story. His attitude, though, was very positive. He couldn't get up. He couldn't stand that day. He was too weak. He's been through chemo, radiation, the whole bit, and he died in June. And it was just the other day she posted a picture of her and one of the kids, and the kid looked just like Sergeant Tyler. So
I don't know Sergeant Tyler, but Dave Bender reached out and said they're a family from his children's school. So Friends of Feeney sent them a note and a little support. So good. I never met. But to be a police officer is a tough bit. Couple of my best friends, the guy who does pallet flags, Direct Line Media, he does that in his spare time. He's a Waterbury police officer, and this is his way of unwinding. He chops up pallet flags. A lot of my good friends are police officers, and
they
much
do work
respect
very hard,
for.
and it's a difficult job right now. They have. They've been portrayed in the media a certain way by different organizations, and so it's difficult for them. And I was talking to the police chief in New Britain, Christopher Shute, just not too long ago, and he was saying that applications are down. There are some people who do not want to become police officers because of the criticism and potential danger they might be in, and so it's a difficult job.
It's tough. I mean, I kind of relate, but teaching and police officer, you make sometimes a split-second decision or a judgment. Theirs are a lot more on the line.
Absolutely.
But much respect. And big West Hartford guy, do you have a favorite restaurant?
I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, you can't say that, huh?
Because that would be, but I do have a lot of...
You got top 5?
I do have I'll give you my top 5. So, but there are more than that. And some days I go, I go through phases. Kara always makes fun of me because whenever we go to a restaurant, I always get the same thing there. I don't always get the same thing from restaurant to restaurant. But if this restaurant does it really well, then why wouldn't I just get the same thing over and over again? So sometimes I do that. But my top 5 are, I'm going to throw out Tangiers, which is in Hartford's West End. West Hartford kids they're adults. The Latif family, they're amazing. Best Mediterranean food you're going to find.
Falafels too, right?
It's falafels, and they just work really hard, and they're all good people. This is a good family. So that's one of my favorites.
I may have played pickup basketball with one of the sons at the JCC.
Zach probably.
Yep.
I play racquetball with Winfield sometimes. But they're all great people. But I kind of like Bar Taco a little bit. A lot, actually. I like the tacos. We go there. I also...
Now, do you go heavy on one flavor, or do you get a bunch of different flavors?
I like the carnitas is my favorite. Yep. If I had to just order right now with the phone, I would do carnitas. And I like the sauce that comes with the plantains.
Oh, yeah.
That sauce is amazing. So I always order that with my tacos. But that's a great place. We like that. What else? Salute in downtown Hartford is another great one. Jimmy does Cosgrove just does an amazing job there. I like that. There's also what else? The folks at the Butterfly are great for Chinese food.
Yep, that's our after Wednesday night after the game. That's our spot.
Yeah, we like that place. Trying to think of what else. The Max people do an amazing job. Max Burger, Savoy. There's a pizza place in Wethersfield. My kids love Village Pizza.
I've never heard of that one. Where is it? What is it?
Village Pizza, right in Old Wethersfield. So there's a lot of different places that we go. We try to, every so often we're like, let's pick a town out of a hat and go there. Let's go to Derby one night. Everyone says Roseland Pizza's amazing, let's go out to Granby, or just let's see a different town, because I've been to all 169 towns in Connecticut.
Nice.
So, but yeah.
What's your spot in Granby or East Granby?
I do not know.
Okay.
I'm just saying that,
I was going to say my wife's from there. That's why.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to a restaurant every town, but I've been to every town for something.
Gotcha.
So, but
didn't you do the? We met. You had the T-shirt 30 and 30, or was that
I
part
did that
of
a while back. Yeah, with but
we don't want to talk about.
In Granby, there's a Clark's Farm or something like that that's great for like pumpkins and stuff. And I think it's called Clark's. I think
Browns.
Browns.
Yeah.
Well, no, Browns is in Windsor.
Oh, that's Browns. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I think it's Clark's in Granby, but don't quote me on that.
Nope. Great. We have a video.
Oh, a video.
Facebook video. This is a Facebook Live video of Dennis' house. This
wow. What
really boosted my ego. Really made me feel good this day. This is the Memorial Day parade.
Yeah. I remember this.
And,
do I give you a shout out?
Yes. Oh, we'll add the sound.
Oh, I remember this. West Hartford's got great parades.
That's my buddy Jeff Brand. He worked for State Farm. Float.
Dr. Ryan?
We honored
How are you doing?
Joe Roman. He was served in Iwo Jima.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you shouted out Dr. Ryan.
Dr. Ryan was my son's football coach's first one.
Okay.
Is Mr.
Is
Feeney?
he a heart?
Cardiologist. Yep.
Mr. Feeney!
Yeah, I remember that.
Here's my shout out here. Dennis.
Yes.
Mr. Feeney
That's
is
awesome.
one of West Hartford's more
That's
famous
awesome.
teachers.
Felt great. So
this
thank
is
you for
great.
that shout out.
Well, of course.
Maybe we'll add sound later.
You know, it's interesting when you give people shout outs. It's like parades are funny because you're looking at some. I'm watching you, right, for probably 15 seconds, and somebody else could be walking by me and I would miss them and then they get all offended. So, and when I do Facebook Lives at work, I try to read all the comments, but you're talking about something and all of a sudden 10 names go by, and so if anyone's listening and that's happened to you, do not take it personally. I do go back and read each and every comment. Maybe I don't see them live because it's like trying to read credits on a TV show. How do you do that? Right?
Yeah, how was that Facebook Live? Should I try to implement that more, or
Yeah, Facebook Live is a great way.
You like that tool,
Eric, to get involved with people, to converse with people, and I can talk about right now if you want, but there's ways to look at your traffic on Facebook, and you find out a lot of people are on my page during this particular hour. Maybe I should do it then, and you'll learn. It'll grow. People will share it, and people will talk to you in the whole bit. So it's not a bad idea.
I know. I like how you pose a question. At 5 o'clock, we're going to talk about this. What are your thoughts? And you get some comments, and you're building discourse and communication, so you get it going.
Well, the news isn't about me, and it's not about necessarily the news. Sometimes it's about how that news impacts the people who watch and listen. So I try to relate it to you. Like, why do you care about this story? And sometimes we do stories that people don't care about, and maybe maybe it's just interesting. Like and then I'll do like the Doulos case for like, how does it impact you really? But it's a very interesting story, and people did follow it. Whereas like a tax hike might sound like a boring story, but we can maybe relate it to how will this impact you? One of the big stories right now across Connecticut, and it's happening in West Hartford, happening in Greenwich, happening in Hartford, Bridgewater, are car thefts.
Yeah.
People are having the number of cars that have been stolen, and some of it is just you have to be careful. You should lock your door no matter where you live, and you should not leave your iPad on your front seat no matter where you live.
Yeah.
And I had someone approach me a couple of years ago who said, I had my iPad, my computer stolen right from my driveway, and and they took something else, and he said, I'd like you guys to do a story on it. And I said, all right. So I gave him the number of the person to call because I was on another story, and they called the station, and the station, once they said the door was unlocked and the keys were in the car, they weren't interested. Because it's hard to make people feel sorry for people like that. I mean, it's awful your stuff got stolen, but you can't do that, no matter where you live.
I love the initiative that West Hartford police are taking with Facebook posts and Instagram posts.
Oh, I love
like
that stuff.
Funny little memes or a video.
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, lock your car.
Yeah.
Do you know where your cars are? Lock your cars.
Yeah.
So every night, that's like a routine now. I walk up the stairs and doot, 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 both cars.
Yeah.
And I can, that was my welcome to West Hartford moment. My first week here, they went up and down the whole street and hit the handles and just opened up and see if the keys were in the car.
Yeah.
They didn't take anything. They rummaged through my change.
And they're getting bold now. There was a woman in Glastonbury a couple weeks ago who was shot at trying to shoo kids away from her driveway. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
If you see that happening, first of all, don't give them. In Middletown, there was a woman on a Ring doorbell. She got, she was stunned. Nice neighborhood, big homes, and they looked at the Ring doorbell because they had seen some activity, and some guys went rummaged through their car with guns in their hands, guns drawn, and so just to think like, had her husband gone out there to confront them, so don't. That's what we have.
Take everything.
Absolutely.
All that stuff could be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Take it into the house. Don't leave stuff in your car.
Yeah, Slap mentioned as a reporter, if it bleeds, it leads. Is that still true in this case, or is that a bad analogy? Or bad?
Well, I mean, I think stations have gotten a little bit better about it. I think that sometimes if there's a shooting in one part of the state, it may not impact you or be that interesting to other people. For instance, our lead yesterday was stolen cars. That they were just they're all over the state, and we had some statistics and all that. So bleeds it leads. It obviously didn't bleed, but sometimes if that's really interesting, we'll lead with that.
And do you have a website? Do you have your own website?
I do. It's dennishouse.tv, and I have my blog, which I haven't updated in a while, so I haven't really. But I used to post regularly on it, and I really need to do more of that.
How often were you trying to post our blog?
I was posting a couple times a week. But between, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, Instagram, stories to write for the news, a wife and kids.
Do you have it all connected where you just make one post and it goes to all of them? Or do you
because for me, there are some people who do it, but for me, I think they need to be separate because they're separate venues, they're different customers, and I think people can see that it's shared.
Do you lean towards one social media page more than the other?
I think Twitter's best for news. Instagram is not great for news. I don't think that's great for news. I think if I put a news story on there, it might get a little bit of traction. People like to see me like covering the news maybe on Instagram. Like today I interviewed the governor, and we sat at this Skipper's in Niantic, and we sat out there. So people might find that interesting, but I don't know that they would find the story necessarily interesting. Facebook's a little bit more, the users tend to be a little bit older, so you don't, you want to gear more stuff toward them.
Oh, I was going to ask, is there an age? I feel like I just got the Instagram like 2 years ago at camp. All the counselors are like high school or college kids. Yeah. They're like, Feeney, you're on Facebook? We don't have Facebook. My mom has Facebook. You got to get Instagram. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah, they're different venues. I think you need all of them.
Yeah.
If you want to promote this podcast, you should have all of them. You should be tweeting, and you should, you tweet it out, and you put it on Facebook, and you put it on Instagram. I think you need all three.
Are you going to help share this podcast out?
Absolutely. You send me the link. I'll put it all over social for you.
You're the best. Well, this was a wonderful interview. I can't thank you enough. This was a long time coming. It was a great conversation. You are the man. Dennis House in the house.
Eric Feeney. Thank you very much. So great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And this is all possible because of Dave from Direct Line Media. So thank you, Dave.
And Dave,
what's up with you and Dave?
Dave Chmielewski. I pronounced that correct, didn't I? See,
you're good. I practice and still mess it up.
It's a name. If you look at it, you'll never be able to pronounce it. But I've said it so many times that now I can pronounce it. But it's like it could be a hard C at the beginning,
or a cha.
Yeah, is it? But once Dave tells you how to do it, it's. But anyway, so Dave and I worked together back at Channel 3 many years ago, and he was amazing.
Isn't he great?
And
he volunteers his time and his support, and it means the world to help spread our mission and our goals about helping children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. And we're getting it out, and we're talking to wonderful people. Quarter of a century. This is number 25. This is huge.
I'm excited
with Dennis House.
This is great. It's a great honor. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thank you. So check out the website, friendsoffeeney.com, to find out more ways to support, donate, or volunteer. We hope to see you at August 1st, the Yardgoats game. We marched in the Hartford St. Patrick's Day parade, so I want to wear all my Irish stuff. Oh, I got my Irish socks from Sockstarz.
You have your Irish socks?
Sockstarz. We also have Friends of Feeney socks at Sockstarz.
Oh, look at
so
those.
shout out to
cool.
Sockstarz at LaSalle Road. I know you're not wearing socks, but maybe you wear those.
Well, during the winter I do wear them. But and I'll give a shout out every night, 6 o'clock news, Channel 8, WTNH. Catch me there. And Sundays at 10 o'clock as well.
check them out. Dennis House. We're gonna leave with the sponsors on the back up on the page. I won't read them off. I'll let you read them.
I'm gonna read them for you. I'm
Oh
sure I
yeah.
know.
Let's use
Let's
your best.
Who do we
Your
have?
voice here. Let's screw it.
Oh wow, I need some glasses for that. That's some tiny writing. All right, I'm not going to read them. It's not there. But I'll tell you, these are. But I do recognize a few of them. Let's see. Man, that is really small writing for me to read. But thanks to all the sponsors.
I see Jeff Brand, Trent Landscaping. Jason Ryan, Dr. Ryan. Extra shout out to Beyond Boards and Beyond. He does a program that teaches future medical people that are trying to pass a test for the medical program.
There we go.
And he was a huge sponsor. He sponsored us for an event.
Now I can read them.
All right.
So Tony Cashman, great friend of mine.
Yes.
He's a good guy. Let's see. We got.
I taught his daughter Ava.
Jeff Brand, I believe I know Jeff.
Yep.
Trent Landscaping, I've seen their trucks around or something. Design Digital, Arthur Murray Dance Centers, I have danced before. Boards and Beyond, thank you for explaining that. The Film Critics Ticket, I don't know that one. Ace Electric Sewer, Eric Gagney, Edward Jones Investments, Speak Up, Kristen Werblow, Life Coaching, SGC Electric, Still Kicking with the Big City Horns, Yankee Plumbing, Liam's Special Language, Just Taxes. Is that Liam Sweeney? Or another Liam?
That's Liam, who has autism. There's
That's
a book
right. That's right.
about Liam Jewell.
Just Taxes, Gagliardi Landscaping, Chuck Benahan, Sorrell Brothers, High Meadow Day Camp. You've got a lot of good stuff in there. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
It's amazing you have all these people here helping you out. That's great.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. So the sponsors, we're going to look for more sponsors for the Park Road Parade. So if you're interested, please contact Friends of Feeney. Dennis, thank you for reading them. Dennis, wonderful talking with you.
Great seeing you, man.
You're my man. I
You
really
take care.
appreciate it.
Great to
Thank
be
you,
here,
everybody. Episode 25. Thank you, friends.
Good looks.
Be a good friend.